Guys, welcome back to our next tutorial. I know it has been a very long time, but we are going to get back into it. We're also going to be doing some really cool new stuff. There's a lot of things that are coming out soon that are going to be super exciting that we'll post later on the channel. So today we're going to be starting our new tutorial, which is going to be the Stars and Stripes Santa. This is the new one that came out. So basically this is round 2 of this Santa specifically. The round 1 Santa, which I will show you guys a picture of, is a little bit different than this one. The colors are a little bit darker. The red is more burgundy. The blue is a darker shade of blue, and the tan is actually almost like a heavy beige. I actually like that kit color better, but when they redid it, they actually redid it in these colors. I've said this before in the channel. I definitely want you guys to know that when you're looking for these kits and you see the super expensive prices on eBay and Facebook Marketplace and things like that, please go back and check within Mary Stockings or any place else that sells these kits and check to see if they're available. Check to see the price points that are put out on those, because I got this kit specifically for Mary Stockings. I think I paid like $27.99 for it, and it's going on eBay for like $170. There's a lot of sellers out there who are not consistent in knowing kind of what's going on with Usilla. But like I said, this is round 2. Round 1 is a discontinued rare kit, so it would be going for $170. So just make sure that you get all the information you need to before you purchase kits like this, especially if they're over the regular price point. If you have any questions, if you see a kit on there that is asking for $170 and you're not sure, message me, DM me, reach out, ask me. I am here to help. That is literally what the channel is for. So I definitely want you guys to have all the information that you need so you can do these kits well, and you have all the knowledge that you possibly need. So what we're going to do is, like I said, this is the Stars and Stripes Santa. If you guys don't know part of the channel, I sequin and embroider everything before I put the kit together, and that's just to make it go a little bit faster. My other videos that I put out, like for outline stitch, running stitch, things like that, you can use those if you need to. If you guys would like to see me do a full kit with the embroidery and with the sequencing and everything, let me know. Put it in the comments below. I would be happy to find a kit that we can do. It's just that if I do the sequencing and embroidering with it, the videos can end up being like 3 hours long. And that's with sped up time. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, this is our Stars and Stripes Santa. It's one of my absolute favorites. I'm super excited that I got a hold of it. So we're going to start with piece 1. This is piece 1. The stocking is piece 1. And it's to embroider and sequin the stocking front. Now it does say blue sequins only, but like I said, I sequin everything first. So I've added my blue sequins onto here. I've also added my running stitch around here, which will be later, and then these little red ones down here as well. So we'll go cross that off our list. And then it says to sequin and applique the top cuff to the stocking front. Now what I did is I went ahead and I love this cuff. Look at how amazing that is. I went ahead and sequined and put the other stripes on here first, and that's just, like I said, it's just basically a time saver. So please follow the directions when it comes to that, but this is basically going to just sit right here. It does go over the top a little bit right here. You'll have a little overhang. So we're just going to line it up on the bottom. We have stars that are coming here. So I'm just going to make sure that those are lined up correctly for our stars. And I do suggest you having some pins. Now, the reason why they tell you to put the cuff on first before the stripes is because obviously you're going to be only sewing it down with blue, but I can show you a cool little trick that I use within these pieces. Now we do have a new kind of like rigging system with our camera, so I'm gonna be double checking. Now, when I applique my pieces, I really like to use my beading needle. And that's only because I feel like the embroidery needle sometimes can leave bigger holes within the felt. So I definitely like to use my beading needle for that. Plus, it's a little bit longer and it helps. I don't know. For some reason, I just feel like it helps with the longer needle. So I'm not going to sew this top part right here. I'm not going to sew that. And the reason why I'm not going to sew that is because when we're finished and we add our liner, which I got in like such a cute liner for this one, when we add our liner to it, we are going to be stitching this top one anyway. So to save a row of stitches and for it to look a little bit less muddled on the top, I'm going to leave that unstitched because we're going to stitch that down later. So I'm going to stitch around this way. I'm going to put it in through the center in between these two pieces. And that's just going to hide my knot a little bit better. Oh my gosh, this thread already. Come on, there we go. And I'm just going to tuck them down in here. Boop. Okay. I'm just going to line up those points. All right. Now I told you I was going to show you a trick. So what I'm going to do is obviously this is blue thread and this is red. So I don't want to go through the top here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stick my needle up through just the middle layer. And like I said, you don't have to do this. You know, like the directions say to put the blue piece on first and then add the red. So if you follow their instructions, which I highly recommend that you do, I'm just doing this for sake of it being a little bit faster. You won't need to do this. Oops, I got it through that layer. But that's kind of a little bit of a trick that I learned because sometimes I feel like when you're putting the small pieces, like super duper small pieces, and you're laying them like on a present or something like that, it's hard to work with a bigger piece when you're putting this little tiny piece on. So what I like to do is if I do have like a present or something where I'm adding small pieces, instead of adding the big piece and then adding on top, I'll actually work with the smaller piece since it's a smaller surface to work with, and it is a little bit easier to kind of get around. So I'm gonna keep my stitch. I'm not gonna stitch it quite all the way to the top. And that's because if I trim this part, I don't want to trim my stitch, because then we'd have to restitch the whole thing. And what you can do to hide that after you knot it is if you go down inside and you go down a little bit farther like this and pull that stitch through there. What I like to do is I like to just pull it just ever so slightly. You see how it's pulling up here? And then we clip it. And if you pull it straight, it'll actually just suck that thread back in there. And that way, it looks like you have an invisible stitch. I love this. This is one of my favorites. All right, so let's back out here a little bit. And we have sequined the cuff, which is piece number 2. The red stripes are going to be 3 through 11. So it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, possibly not in that order, but you guys get the gist. So this is our 3 through 11 steps. And then our stars are going to be step 12. So we're going to have 4 stars. All the stars are the same number. So you're going to have technically 4 number 12s. I'm not a big fan of when they do that. But I think it keeps them from going into triple digits in the instructions sometimes. Because I think that the tab on this one is 99. So they could do that just so it's not like, oh my gosh, there's over 100 pieces. All right. Again, I'm going to use my beading needle. Like I said, it's my favorite to work with when appliquing pieces. And I actually got really lucky with this beading needle. It has quite a bigger eye. I don't know if you can see that. Quite a bigger eye than what they normally do. Well, let's put our first star on here. So I would also recommend that when you check your stars to just check and see and look at what your point may be. Because some of them, if you continue to turn them, they look more like a star and everything looks more even. So when I look at it this way, it looks kind of even. Oops. It looks kind of even this way. But as you start to turn it, it might look a little bit better one direction. Like that looks like how my star is supposed to look. Everything else looks equal. So I'm going to go with it this way. I did come into a bit of an issue with some of these stars because the gold thread is so hard to work with sometimes. It frays, it doesn't want to lay flat, so you can use thread conditioner if you want to. This one, the lines were overprinted and it actually went through the top of the star here. And I couldn't cut it off because for some reason it was just like, it was really in there. So what I did is I actually sewed it on the back, and that way I'll still have the shape that I need. The lines won't be there, and that printed line will be gone, and I'll still be able to use the piece for what it's supposed to be used for. Let's go in this way. We'll just be super careful not to cut our sequence on the other side. So now I got this cut out. I see that my little piece is not doing exactly what I want it to do. So I'm just going to kind of go back here and pull a few of these strands and see if I can't get it to straighten out a little bit. This gold thread is like wire. I definitely would say if it's something that's going to really bother you, or you know, something like that, I definitely suggest getting some sort of thread conditioner. You can use, I believe it's called Magic Thread, Thread Magic. I have it. It's a little blue bottle. I can show it to you guys also. And it really helps just condition the thread. It also helps it from getting knotted also. So it's a great little thing, great little tool to have in your toolbox for sewing. I'm not All right, so our camera overheated. Definitely learning with this new camera system, which I will actually show you guys a picture of on Instagram. It's super cool. I can actually show you a picture here too. So we've added all of our stars. Like I said, they're all number 12s. So we're going to go ahead and check that off. And what's cool about this is Buscilla has actually started to put these little squares here, so you can actually start checking them off. I know Mary Stockings has done it for a really long time. This is relatively new, and it's pretty awesome. I really like it. I used to just highlight it. So now we're going to embroider a pleat and stuff the sleeve, which is number 13. And this is probably one of the coolest Santas I've ever seen. So this Santa, and you can see it by the picture, the stripes is actually all chain link stitch, chain stitch. And I love this. I love that they did it. It's something totally different than they've done with the Santas and all the other kits. I really wish that they would do it more because it's just absolutely amazing. And it looks so great. So this is actually 3 strands, which I'm super glad that they did 3 strands of chain stitch on here because it really makes it pop out. So we are going to put this guy right here. And we are going to stuff it. So let me just get a minute here so I can line. We're going to line these up with this stitch over here. And go and get some of our big box of fluff. So what we're going to do is we're going to start from up here. I'm going to start from over here and go around. That way I can make sure I can get some fluff in this little corner down here. Because this is going to be his arm that's going to be holding our adorable little tree, which I did change the tree a little bit. There is this lady who did one of these. She's actually allowing me to share the picture with you guys. She changed some of it and did an absolute bang up job. And I followed the tree that she actually did because I just thought it was so freaking adorable. I can't wait to do the tree. We're going to be doing steps 1 through 20 in this video. Because this one seems to have gone by pretty quickly with its numbers since we've sequined everything together. I am going to be really careful not to sew over this chain stitch because I really want to make sure that I keep it pretty and intact and kind of exactly where those chain stitches need to be. I've had this one prepped for about 6 months. Like I said, we took a little bit of a break, of a hiatus. Christmas is absolutely crazy here. And then we all got sick in December. We had a lot of family visiting. We had a lot of things that we were doing. So it's been super crazy. All right. So I'm just going to stick this in here. I'm going to use the end of my pen. Or you can use your scissors. Sometimes I use my scissors. And be careful, we are going to be stuffing quite a bit of his little jacket. And if you overstuff, remember we've talked about it kind of in videos before, when you overstuff, what it does is all your pieces are doing, they're building up, right? They're stacking up. So when you're stuffing it, it's pulling your bottom this way. So when you line it up on the back, you're like, why is there so much space on each side of the back of this? It's because there's so much stuffing that it's actually pulled this piece of felt in and shrunken it. It took me a while to realize that is what was happening. Well, we overheated again. So we might have to figure out a way to keep this a little bit cooler. Like I said, it is a new lighting rig, so it could be the lights that are making it too hot, so we'll have to see. But like I was saying, I love adding stuffing. I like having a big jolly Santa Claus, so that could very well, that was my problem, and it took me a while to figure it out, what was happening. So now that we're done adding our sleeve, we're going to add the sleeve trim. I know it looks like kind of wonky because you're like, but wait, it looks like his mitten's supposed to go there. But his mitten will go up here, and his mitten is going to be holding our little tree. And we are going to stuff and applique this as well. So all right, now that we have our cuff on, we are going to go ahead and applique the bottom layer of the tree. So you'll see that my tree is a little different. It doesn't have green. You'll see that my tree is a little different. It doesn't have green sequins on it. It actually has these red, white, and blue sequins on it. This was changed in the new kit. The new kit has green on it. The old kit, and like I showed you in the videos, has the red, white, and blue. So I actually followed the red, white, and blue from the old kit. I just think that it looks really plain with the green sequins. I don't really like it. I feel like he's so blinged out, and then all of a sudden you're just doing like green sequins. So I changed it, and we're going to stuff this. So I'm probably going to go up and around and then stuff from the bottom because, bigger to smaller. we want to make sure that we get that fluff in that top part also. Do not be afraid to change things on your stockings. It's so incredibly easy to do. Adding sequins, changing the colors of sequins. There's so much that you can do. I've actually changed colors of full backgrounds before. If you are trying to find a way to do it because you're like, what? I do have a video. It's called the press and seal method. Go check it out. I promise you will not regret it. So we're going to stuff it. You don't have to stuff it too much because you are going to be kind of building up the layers with the next tutorial that we're doing on this. So I'm just going to stuff it kind of lightly just so it gives it a little bit of dimension, but I'm not going to overly stuff it because like I said, we are going to be putting other layers on it. And I just want to make sure that it doesn't get too big and pull our stocking too much. I didn't read the directions like I was supposed to. And I forgot, we need to leave the bottom of the tree unattached. So we're actually going to clip this back. And this will be kind of a little fun thing to show you guys. If that ever happens, clip the very closest edge that you knotted, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pull it from this side, and we should have enough string in the end to actually knot it. I was too much on a roll. That's what happened. Because I was wondering why that number didn't, didn't end how it was supposed to end. Or that piece didn't close up like it was supposed to. All right, so I think we'll go to kind of the end here a little bit. Okay, so this should be more than enough thread to knot. All right, so we have undone the bottom here to keep that open. So we're just gonna go up through here, we're just gonna knot it. That's all we're gonna do. And that way we're not ripping the whole thing out, re-sewing everything down. we've just ripped out the bottom because we knotted it over here, remember? So we cut it here. On the other side, we cut it here. So the beginning is okay. And then we just clipped it. We went back, we ripped the stitches out, and we're just going to tie it off. There we go. Holy moly. Okay. Now we can applique our mitten, and it's going to make more sense now. Because what you're going to do is you're going to kind of, it looks like you put it over the bottom, but I'm not entirely sure. So we're just going to sew over it because it says to leave the bottom unattached. I've never seen them do that before, so I'm wondering if maybe it was like an error possibly, but we're going to sew over it. We're going to line this guy up. We're going to sew over it that way. Over here, it kind of looks like it's still unattached. His beard will cover that, but I definitely just want it how, you know, they're saying it needs to go. So we're going to... Alrighty. So now we are going to put our next step on, which is we are going to stuff and applique the front of the tree branch to the back of the tree branch, which these are going to be your tree branches right here, 16 and 17. So we can move this out of the way. And get our thread ready. We're going to stuff it also. All right, guys, so my camera shut off when we were putting the last pieces on here. This is number 19 and number 20. This is his fingers right here. So what we did is we sandwiched the pieces together. We sewed them together first till about right here. Then we stuffed it. We finished sewing it, and then we just tacked it down around here. The next one that we're going to be doing is actually going to be numbers 21 through 50, so we can get the entirety of Santa done. And then it's just going to be this portion right here, and most of the numbers that we're going to be doing is going to be the stripes and the little drum. So this one's going by super fast. If there's a kit that you want to see, please let me know. If there's a question you have, put it in the comment section below. I'm literally here to help. It's what I love to do. It's the reason why I started this channel. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And I'm so glad to be back. I missed you guys, and I miss sewing, and I miss putting these kits together. Yeah, if you have any questions, please just let me know. I'd love to help any way that I can. So we will see you guys next time. Have a great day. All right, guys, so my camera shut off when we were putting the last pieces on here. This is number 19 and number 20. This is his fingers right here. So what we did is we sandwiched the pieces together. We sewed them together first till about right here. Then we stuffed it. We finished sewing it, and then we just tacked it down around here. The next one that we're going to be doing is actually going to be numbers 21 through 50, so we can get the entirety of Santa done. And then it's just going to be this portion right here, and most of the numbers that we're going to be doing is going to be the stripes and the little drum. So this one's going by super fast. If there's a kit that you want to see, please let me know. If there's a question you have, put it in the comment section below. I'm literally here to help. It's what I love to do. It's the reason why I started this channel. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And I'm so glad to be back. I missed you guys, and I miss sewing, and I miss putting these kits together. Yeah, if you have any questions, please just let me know. I'd love to help any way that I can. So we will see you guys next time. Have a great day. So we will see you guys next time. Happy crafting.